Just a heads up, there is a little bit of graphic content in here and a little bit of gore, so just be aware. Good evening, Lexbots. In this tutorial, I'm going over the next highest requested special effects tutorial, which was stitches. I know a lot of my tutorials lately have been on my hands, but it's really the easiest place to show you guys the different techniques of special effects, so you guys are able to make your own character in the end, which I may or may not be having a makeup entry contest in the future. You guys like how I just picked up my candle by the flame? It's what rebels do. Now I know you guys are used to me using the Mehron Extra Flesh, but Graftobian actually sent me Graftobian Modeling Wax. Quite honestly, I am enjoying this modeling wax from Graftobian a lot more than the Mehron Extra Flesh. You guys can actually take this out of its package and work with it without having any makeup remover on your hands. So this was my first time working with the Graftobian Modeling Wax, and I honestly would highly suggest trying this out, especially if you guys are working with it for the first time. This actually might be the easiest product that I have worked with, as far as like the wax goes. I'm starting out by applying Graftobian Spirit Gum to my wrist and then tapping it until it is tacky. If you do not tap it, it will not become tacky. Using the back of one of my makeup brushes, I'm then taking out a little bit of the Graftobian Modeling Wax, which I just showed you guys that you can handle on your fingers without makeup remover on them. I'm then literally just smearing it right across where I put the Spirit Gum on there. I'm then using the back of a plastic butter knife because I'm so fancy. With a little bit of makeup remover on it and smoothing out the edges, just blending them into my skin. You could also use a makeup spatula if you guys have that handy. For this part also, don't be afraid to use pressure. Pressure is going to be your best friend blending this into your skin. Because the first one I'm going over is more of like the healed up stitches, I am going to blend this into my skin a little bit more so there's not so much of a ridge. I'm then just going to be using the back of my eyelash glue to tear a little bit of a hole in the wax that we just applied. Be sure you have a little bit of makeup remover on the corner just to make it easier. I'm then smoothing out over that cut line that we just made just to make it a little bit more of rounded edges and a little more healed over. Also use the corner of your eyelash glue where the little holes for your stitches are going to go. I'm going with more of like a Sally kind of stitch, so I'm going to do some straight ones and some X's. Powder your wound using translucent powder and the Made You Look powder brush. I'm then using a light pink blush and the Made You Look blending brush, which is now available. See what I did there? That plug? That was nice. And I'm just really lightly dusting it over the entire wound just to give it a little bit of irritation. Using the Made You Look detail brush and Paradise Paint in brown, I'm then filling in a very, very thin line where the cut is. Try not to really overdo this color because it's supposed to be more of dried blood. I'm also going in with Paradise Paint in red and just certain little sections of the cuts that are more of bleeding cuts. To help the stitches stick better, I'm then applying Spirit Gum very lightly to the cut. Very lightly tap this. For the stitches themselves, I just cut apart a little bit of thread and I also knotted some of the ends of it. This, by far, is the most stressful part of the entire tutorial of just trying to apply the little tiny stitches. Do your very best to kind of push them into the wax a little bit because it'll make them look more like they're actually going into your skin. If you're planning on needing a lot of stitches, I definitely would cut them out ahead of time. Once again, powder over it using translucent powder and the Made You Look powder brush. Of course, if you're doing this around your entire wrist, you're going to want to complete the other side. If you guys are wanting a more open wound, or literally going through the same process except one little step is different. Apply the Spirit Gum and tap it until it is tacky. Don't forget to tap the Spirit Gum. If you guys can take one thing away from this tutorial, do not forget to tap the Spirit Gum. I'm giving you guys life advice right now. That is gross. That is Halloween within itself, my friends. Especially when you play that backwards. Now that it has made my wrist all red from playing with the Spirit Gum, roll your modeling wax in a ball and smear it right across your wrist. When you guys are making an open wound, you might want to use a little bit more modeling wax than you would a healed wound. And this is where it starts to be different. Just like the other one, we're going to smooth it out using a little bit of makeup remover in the back of a plastic butter knife, but we are going to leave it a little bit more of a bump than we did with the previous one. Once again, use the back of your eyelash glue to cut a hole into your new wound. Also use the back of your eyelash glue to open up that wound a bit. Because we want this to be a little bit more of an open wound, I'm not going to put as many stitches in this as I did the previous one. Just like the other one, apply translucent powder. I'm then also going in using blush and the Made You Look blending brush. Because I'm going to make this one a little bit more bruised, like your hand really got reattached, I'm then going in with the Skin Illustrator Effects palette in yellow and just making a bruise right around it. I'm also going in with a little bit of green, as well as bruise tone and a little bit of blue. Now you can either leave this crazy looking or bring it down to a little bit more of a realistic bruise just by adding a little bit more alcohol and diluting all of the colors. I'm then using the detail brush and Graftobian Pro Paint in black to fill in the big gashes in my wrist. The darker the colors, the deeper the gash is going to look. You want to concentrate this more in the center, and then when you go and apply the Paradise Paint in red, you can fill in the rest of the area. Apply your spirit gum, tap it lightly, and then also place your stitches on just like you did in the previous one. Go ahead and apply translucent powder to your wound. If you guys want a little bit more of realistic blood in there, you can also add Graftobian blood paste. And this isn't like runny or anything, so it's not going to get all over the place.